Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from SimpleProgrammer.com. So I got a book review for you today. It's a book that I've been wanting to read for a while. I finally got to reading this. It's called The Everything Store, and it is about, yes, you can probably guess it, it's about Amazon and Jeff Bezos particularly, and it was quite an interesting book. So I've been reading a lot of biography type of books, and there's something interesting. I found this interesting thread in some of these books, some of these titans of the industry, as you might call them, like in today's modern era, which would be guys like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Steve Jobs. And I was a little bit shocked. I didn't know a lot about Jeff Bezos coming into this, and I didn't know a huge amount about Amazon's upcoming, but I found a lot of commonality between these guys in that they're pretty damn ruthless, they're workaholics, they're pretty much slave drivers, and they have this like my way or the highway attitude. They have this reality distortion field, they have these really big dreams. So it's kind of interesting, and not that you have to have those attributes to be successful, but it is kind of interesting when you look at some of these really top executive, top entrepreneurs, when you look at people like I said, like Steve Jobs and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, that they all share these kind of asshole characteristics, right? You wouldn't want to work for these guys, honestly. But hey, they get their results. You know that's pretty interesting. But this book is about Amazon, and I thought it was really interesting. Again, I usually, when I do these book reviews, some of you are like, hey, you didn't really review the book. You just talked about what you liked or didn't like about the book. Ah, I see. I didn't summarize the book, because you could read the fucking book and figure out what the book says. I'm going to tell you about what I think about it or what I pulled from the book. But anyway, what I got from this was really the story of Amazon, a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't realize what was going on, like how far back Amazon goes, right? When I didn't even think about it, that it was around, how much it was growing way back in like 2000 in the .com era. It didn't really come into my radar. It wasn't really in the forefront of my mind until, in the past like 10 years, I'd say, right? 2000, yeah, maybe 10, 12 years. But they were big then, right? And they were growing rapidly. Just the way that they're growing, the strategies that they use, very, very interesting. Very interesting to see so many ruthless business practices where they put their competitors out of business, where they were, basically, head to head with Walmart and Target and Toys R Us and all these companies, and how Jeff Bezos was very much, very determined to have it his way. Just also the work ethic of someone like Jeff Bezos, but what he demanded and expected from other people. I had heard that Amazon was not the best place to work. I didn't really believe it. I thought people were whining about that. But it seems like from the bottom to the top up, even executive level, especially the executive levels, that it's pretty fierce. It's a pretty difficult place to work, that they were really practice ruthless business tactics, and that Jeff Bezos almost had a cult following. So these are really interesting things. I think when you think about, for me, I was thinking about like, what kind of company do I want to build? How much is success worth, and what kind of price do you pay along the way? And when you look at a company of that size and that scale, it makes sense, right? That some of the trade-offs that they made in order to make the best possible thing for the customer, but it cost a lot. It cost a lot in people's time. It cost a lot in souring the company culture to a large degree, right? It was like a war zone all the time. So it's really interesting to get that kind of insight into one of my favorite companies, right? I mean, honestly, like, how much money do I spend on Amazon? How much does Amazon actually improve my life? It really does a lot, because I love Amazon Prime, right? I get the 2-day shipping. I order so much shit from there, and I pretty much am going to shop on Amazon, if I can, and then having the ability to get basically anything I want from there. It's mind blowing to realize what the cost was, right? In order to be able to deliver that to me. So it's really interesting just to see the plans, some of the failed plans that they had, some of the things that didn't work out, how Kindle came onto the scene, the whole ebook fiasco. Amazon got involved in so many battles to the death, and I didn't even realize like how badly that they would, price cut things in order to shut out the competition. There was this diaper company that they talk about that, when Amazon was expanding into that area. Just Amazon's expansion in general to go from books to CDs and then to toys, which it was really interesting to see how they basically, it was so hard for them to get into toys. You wouldn't think so, but there's a lot to that, right? So just a really interesting book. I like to read these books where you get the inside track on like a super successful company and the mindset of the person that's running it or leading it. And I feel like this book definitely gives you that. So I think it's a good book. It is a little bit disheartening, I have to say. It's not a book with a happy happy message, but there's something to learn from it. And I take from it that I wouldn't want to run a company like that. I don't like that. It's not worth the price to me, but it's interesting to contrast that, to say, okay, well, if you want to reach this level, this is what it's going to cost you, and to know that ahead of time. I think that there's a lot of people that are naive and that think that they're going to create these huge companies and do these huge things in the world, and they're not really willing to pay the price, and they're not aware of what the price is. So to me, this book was a glimpse into what that price was. And when I look at the same thing with Elon Musk, I did the review on the Elon Musk book. It's a similar story. The only one I haven't really read, I still need to read Steve Jobs' biography or one of those books and get that whole story. I've got the pieces of that. I haven't watched the movie or anything as well, but this book was good. It was interesting. It's one of those books, like if you like these business books and you like the kind of biography and inside look, I would definitely check it out. Again, it's called The Everything Store. It's about Amazon and Jeff Bezos, and yeah, it's a pretty shocking book. I was really surprised. I'd like to see like part 2 of that book. Like, where did Amazon go after that? Like in the next 10 years or so? That would be quite interesting. All right, if you like these videos, if you like these reviews, you can click that subscribe button below. And I have been slowing down a little bit on my books, but it's because I'm learning Italian. But I normally read like 2 to 3 books a week and do reviews here on the channel, so you can check them out. And usually they're books that are already pre-filtered, so if you want to get the best of the best books, the reason why you might want to watch my videos is because I only read what I deem as the best of the best books. It's already a pre-filtered list, and then I give you my basically thumbs up or thumbs down, so you don't waste a lot of time. I don't like to waste time on reading stuff that's not beneficial to me, so I heavily filter whatever I'm reading, and then you could even filter it further based on my reviews. All right, that's all I got for you today. I'll talk to you next time.